Say something.
Hello?
I can't really hear you.
I cannot hear myself.
So what we will do is we're going to move Kabaza around, slide that over to her, and then put this in between you.
Okay.
Because evidently Paula has something that people need to hear.
No. But they're twins anyway, they told me.
Yeah. That's what we are this season.
Yeah, that's what they told me. They're twins.
Really?
Ooh, yes.
Okay,
Let me slide back a little feedback.
You got it. All right. So everybody's week going good. This is what they call a hump day.
Hump day, yes.
Hump day.
Wednesday, praise way.
Yes. What do you call it?
I said praise way.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, because normally Wednesday is Bible study.
Yeah.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah. Bible study tonight for this show.
You did.
I
Yes,
died.
definitely.
Okay. So tonight we have Mr. J.L. King. He is the guy who, I think in the 90s, he wrote a book On the Download, which exposed a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. Nothing that I wasn't surprised about. But he has a new book called On the Download 2. So he's going to be calling in tonight to talk to us. He says, nothing's changed. We're going to talk to him about that. We also have Angeline Hart. She wrote a book called Gorillas Make Great Lovers. I've always known that, but she's going to come in. She's going to talk to us about her system, which will help women, not you because you're married, but other women like you, find that Mr. Right. I'm excited to hear about that. And then you? Yeah, you can start a class, and help your sisters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So they won't be on the download, number one, and then they're the right person.
Then you
okay,
Oprah too.
Yeah,
you can be a relationship coach.
Okay, yeah. How do you
She likes that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
She likes that.
You gotta see the vision.
And we just wanted to introduce your hair because, like you said,
my hair
it's getting bigger and bigger.
It's growing. It's growing. It was really curly because Will is my hairstylist, and
don't say that.
He doesn't want me to tell it, but it.
Did he do it today?
No, he didn't. It was very curly on. What did you do it on Friday?
On Friday.
Because it was really nice, and then the curls are coming out. But then I was at the Jerk Fest this weekend, and it was very humid, and then it started raining. And then I drive with my windows down, so the wind is blowing, so my hair looks like 1970s. But I think it's a little sexy, though.
Yeah, you like big hair anyway.
It looks like bedroom hair.
So that's not the finished product?
No.
Oh no!
Don't try to
hot.
He's trying to be rude already.
Yeah.
But I get your bedroom.
Don't
hair,
come
though.
for me.
It'll
It'll definitely be some slow music on you better let them know. You better let them know what time it is.
She said she's the diva. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the diva in this room.
She got a fan and everything.
Yes, which I'm about to turn back.
So we have a host of things to talk about tonight. But if you want to call in, you have a comment, something somebody said maybe ticked you off, you want to say a few things to them. Call 757-683-4405. You can also see us here in the studio live at YouTube at WODU Live. But the first thing I want to talk about, so I have a question. So, I'm a little shady. I don't really go out, but every now and then I think about going out. But I read a new study. It was saying that, sometimes going out, you're too old to go out. When do you guys think, what age do you think is considered too old to go out?
It's funny because
and you like to go out.
All the time.
But that's the difference between where you're going out at. Like, because I'm 36, so I said I'm too old to be in the club. I'm not one to trying to get on the dance floor and do all of that. And it's too hot because I'm too old. I'm too tired. My body
and they
bounce
said to
like
the club, to go to a club.
But I feel like at a certain age, like maybe 35 and up, you know what I'm saying? Nice bars and nice little lounge areas is a nice little get together. I just think at some point your body should be tired of the clubs,
What do you say?
I'm a little bit older than him, and I find myself, enjoying the club. So, I think it's I personally feel you're old as you feel, and I do a lot of things as far as work purposes.
Amen. Yeah.
So, I find myself in the clubs a lot. Sometimes I feel I don't want to say a little bit out of place, but most times, I enjoy it.
So, but what do you think that age is? Because they gave an age. It's too old to go to a club.
I don't.
And they surveyed 5,000 people.
I'm probably going to say 45. If they surveyed.
They should.
Yes.
That's low.
That's low. Well.
It's high.
That's high.
You were closer.
Yeah, like 35.
So the age, okay. So according to a survey by Curry's PC World, the magic number is 37. They say they carried out a survey of 5,000 adults and found that 37% of participants went as far as saying that it's tragic seeing those out at clubs who are 40 or older. The study also says that by the age 31, many people prefer staying home than going out, which is me. They desire not to be hungover the next day and also enjoying home comforts for a social life or going to a party, like a house party or something like that.
You never seen that old guy in the club and he just dancing? You were like, I know he's too old to be up here.
But why? Why does it have to have an age limit on it? Why does let me just rephrase it. Why does fun have to have an age limit? And two, why are you judging? And that's judgmental. Saying that at a certain age a person should not be in the club. Why is that? And why is there an age limit on fun if that's something that they enjoy?
It's not an age limit on fun. It's just the type of fun for your group. You know what I'm saying?
But who's to say that that's...
Well, it's a personal belief of mine. And you can say it's judgmental. And everybody in the world is judgmental about something. If you don't like something, you're judging it, regardless what it is. So the judgmental thing is out. But it's just like sometimes it's just like where you at in life and what kind of energy.
So you're saying that...
No, I'm saying what kind of energy that you want around you at a certain point. Because, you know, like, because to me, in my opinion, you know, sometimes when people go to a club, that's an 85% chance that somebody's trying to go home with somebody. And what do you look like? You that older person, Conversely?
What are you saying? I'm trying to go home with somebody all the time.
So that means, well, actually,
I know you know.
I took this class. It's called Critical Accountability. And one of the main things I learned out of the class is how we tell our own story. So what you just said is what we learned in the class. You're telling your own story. So what you're saying is that you're looking at somebody, you're like, oh my God, they're so old to be in here, and why are they in here? And they're probably in here trying to pick up somebody. So you have convinced yourself of that's why they're there. So now you're going to tell Omar, oh my God, Omar, look at that guy. I know that they're in here trying to pick up somebody, and that could be so far from the truth, because they may be in a club because they just like to dance. Yeah, like I like going. I'm a dancer, so I love going out, and I love.
Can we take this question a bit further though?
Wait, let me just tell you my age, and let me. Okay, so,
16.
Well, people think that I'm 38, and I'm not. I'm 57.
You look great.
Amazing.
Thank you. But I like to party. I like to dance. It's not about drinking because I've surpassed that. But I love going out socializing. I love having a great time, and most of the time you will find me on a dance floor because I love dancing.
So when you go to right.
I was just saying that. Because I believe all of us take vacations.
Yes.
And you know, I'm sure I don't know all of us, but how many of us been to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
I mean, so when you go, do you party? Do you go to clubs? You know, you go to Miami, do you party? You go to clubs?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all do.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe it's like when you're in your hometown, you might not party as much as versus when you might go out, you know, and take vacations. I think that might be
because it's a different scene,
right?
So when you go, it's a different
and a special occasion, right? You know,
right. I mean, it's like some people don't like to go to bingo.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so bingo. When you talk about bingo, what I'm saying, right? But what I'm saying is that people put an age limit on bingo because only old ladies with blue hair go to bingo. If you think about bingo, you think about older people, your nana or somebody going to bingo. Is that correct? But that's so far from the truth.
The image that people have.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but it's like in the club. You like when you say you go to the club and you be dancing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure when you see these young girls on there and they bending over and touching their knees and just gyrating and all that type of stuff, you be like, ooh, child.
Well, that's the new wave. That's their time. This is their time. That's their movement. Like when I was out doing dancing, we were dancing to Michael Jackson, doing our movement. You know, and my parents thought that was too much.
I mean, your dancing is still seductive.
Yes, it is very seductive.
Yeah.
I am a seductive
dancer. Oh, because you're a dancer.
Your look is still seductive.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm a dancer, and I it's just something that I really like. Like back in the day when my parents danced, you know, they would do the swing and stuff like that. The hand dancing, and I know how to do that. So I've been fortunate to know different genres of dancing, and I just love it. Like I like the salsa. I love doing that, and I'm good at it.
Every Friday night, I got to go out and go to the club or something like that.
Well, at this point in my life, I because I'm on a journey where I like to just go and just enjoy myself.
Shelf life.
Right, shelf life. I'm just talking about my shelf life. And I work 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month.
Right.
I'm locked down.
Correct.
So when Friday and Saturday come, I want to go out and do something. I want to enjoy my life. I just don't want my life to be, okay, I've worked 40 hours a week. Now I have to come home and do what?
And see, I kind of agree with that. Are you married? You mind asking?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Are you married?
Yes.
You are. And so I'm not. I'm looking for a relationship, and I feel like, so where are the people who I want to date? Where would they be at? You know, and sometimes you can find them in the clubs. You find them in church. You find them online. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really an online type of person to where, you know, I want to scroll down, you know, looking for somebody that I don't know. You know, and I'm not looking to meet up and tell you to come to my house either, you know. So I like going out, you know what I'm saying? And that's the only way I'm going to find them. I'm not going to find them in the house.
No, you definitely going to find, I mean, you may find them in, like, my grandmother used to say, if you find a man in a club, leave him there. Because he ain't no good, because he in there looking for somebody. But that's not necessarily the case.
I just think that when people say, let's go look for fun or less things to do, there's more other things to do than
Absolutely.
the club, you know what I'm saying? But like for me, like I said, my personal for me, I don't want to be on every Friday night when I'm out way into the club. You know what I'm saying? Because that gets old. You know what I'm saying? If I don't into the club for 3 years, I ain't found nobody in the club yet. I need to change up some things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can change your club.
I mean, that's true. I mean, I don't want to go to the club all the time, and that's true. Because there's a lot of ways to enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying that don't cut your life short just by staying in the house.
Okay, yeah. So, what do you want to talk about, babe?
Well, I want to talk about somebody that I love his music. I think he's multi-talented, can sing many genres of music, but I'm just upset. R. Kelly. I was watching Good Morning. Well, first my girlfriend called me because she's a big R. Kelly fan.
Yeah.
Oh my God, absolutely. My girlfriend Kristen loves R. Kelly. And she was like, oh, I just read this article about R. Kelly, about him having these women captive in his house, 6 of them, brainwashed. I'm like, where did you read it on YouTube? Because I hardly believe anything that's going on YouTube. Right. I'm like, if I don't see it on Good Morning America, Channel 13, I'm not trying to hear it. She's like, no, but I think it's real. I'm like, nah, I don't believe it. So sure enough, I turn on TV, Good Morning America, what do I see? A mom on the mother of the girl that's living with R. Kelly. Well, she's saying that she's captive. He's keeping her hostage. She's brainwashed, and he has like a cult thing going on. So, you know, in the past, R. Kelly has had many run-ins with little girls, younger women. That's, you know, that's his Achilles heel. That's all I can say. So the mom was saying that she just want him to return her daughter. She's there, you know, he's holding her hostage and not of her own free will. Well, the FBI went in, talked to the young lady. You know, of course, TMZ was all involved because, you know, if it's on TMZ, you know it's for real. So she was saying that, no, that I'm fine. You know, I want to be here. I'm not brainwashed. This is where I want to be because I just wanted a break from my parents. I just don't want to be bothered with my parents. So, of course, now it's all over the news. And, you know, now R. Kelly is, you know, his concerts are all over the place. And he's supposed to be coming here next week. So, and I...
Oh, really?
Yes, he's supposed to be coming here next week, and I submitted a request for an interview. But I heard that a lot of people are... protesting and not buying tickets. Excuse me. Because of this issue and many other issues that have preceded him. However, you know, R. Kelly makes amazing music and people love him. I mean, I just think that, you know, unfortunately, when you're an entertainer, your life is an open book if you let it be. And, you know, women, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but women are groupies. You know what I mean? They want to get in. You know, the athletes, there's some that get to the 2nd floor, there's some that get to the 3rd floor, but there's ones that make it all the way up to that 5th floor.
Yeah, right.
You know, because it's all about those coins. You know what I mean? And, you know, those girls, you know, they know what they're grown. You know what time it is when you get there. You know, it's all about the slap and tickle. You pretty much know that.
I think I was watching an interview, and they were saying that there was a lady that was in the house who were basically coaching the girls on how to please R. Kelly. And then they were talking to one that actually, she spoke out. She said, yeah, she said because she was promised like music deals, but the music deals haven't come around yet.
Right, and that's, I'm sorry, and you know, that's the business. That's how it is. You know, you have to, in order to get that contract or to be in the background for the CD.
Why would he have to do that? He's R. Kelly. I mean, other than the fact that he's 50, you know, and this, you know, people age shame sometimes. But I was thinking,
because he can.
I mean, but why would he have to hold people? They were saying that he's holding them against his will.
But you know, like the girl, they weren't in the house, and the girl was saying, "No, I'm here." She could have left right then.
Yeah, exactly.
But they said because she was mentally fit, she was in good health, she was in good spirits. They left her. She said she didn't want to leave.
One of my issues was one of his former employees made a statement. So my thing is like this: so if you work for R. Kelly and you see this going on, why you didn't report anything to now you don't have a job no more, and now you're probably looking for a check. So now you want to report it? I just feel like that, okay.
Oh, what did he say?
It was a female. She was like, yeah, she co-signed. She said that, yes, the girls are being held hostage.
Oh, wow.
And they only eat at a certain amount of time. They take baths at a certain time. And they go to sleep. And they said, she came out with a whole full interview. And I'm thinking to myself, so you was around doing this. So you didn't try to help the girls at all?
Right.
You didn't try to free them? But now that you're no longer employed by R. Kelly and...
She want to check.
And now you want to check. That says something about your character. And they always kill me. Because just even like... It's just like, okay, they try to take Bill Cosby down, all right?
Right.
Everybody came out, oh, he guilty, we're going to boycott Bill Cosby, And now all them charges are dropped against Bill Cosby. Yeah. And now people want to support and build back Bill Cosby again.
My issue, I kind of feel like, you know, nothing was really done in the beginning when he was, you know, urinating, peeing on the young girl years ago, you know, and so I felt like, you know, R. Kelly being as powerful money-wise, you know, and you said he's a very good singer, great music, all those things, and sometimes, you know, people might feel that they're more powerful than what they really are, but because he got away with one thing, you know, most people continue to do things, you know, until they're caught, you know, and then I felt like they didn't do as much as they should have done in that one particular situation, trying to say that I guess that they couldn't identify the fact that was R. Kelly or whatever the case in that video.
Right.
You know, and so I think that, you know, I don't think it was enough done in that situation, and because of that, it's still I guess he feel like he can continue to do whatever he want to do.
Well, here's my thing. Where are the parents?
That's what my
because that young lady that you're referring to, I think she was no more than like 14 and 15. But the thing of it is, when you looked at her, you would thought that she was like 20 years old. And the way she was dropping, she was doing that thing. She was doing stuff that I mean, I was like, I'm watching a video learning from her. You understand what I'm saying? So how does she know it? How does she learn how to do that? Where is her parents? That's my number one question. And how did she get there? Yeah. Where were you? Where were you?
And that's what I was saying too, because the girls, they only on the story they said they only been with R. Kelly or been captured for 7 months, allegedly being captured for 7 months. First of all, I have a daughter, and I know the history of R. Kelly. Why am I letting my daughter go to an R. Kelly concert by herself? You know what I'm saying? So then the thing is, so you let your daughter go to R. Kelly. I mean, that's a little negligent, like you know what I'm trying to say. On your end, as a parent, you know what I'm saying. So now you want to get up here and make a story about it, but where were you at when your daughter was going to this concert? Don't say that she went and you didn't know, because that's even worse. That's child neglect.
Right. So, okay, I have a friend that, well, she's passed away. She met Rick James, and so he liked her, and they were gonna hang out. She was gonna go on tour with him, but there was a stipulation, and the stipulation was, if you go on tour with me, you have to do me and everybody else on this bus.
Oh, whoa.
When they want to.
Yeah,
And it's so easy because I was young. I was a big Parliament Funkadelic, still am, fan. You know what I mean? And I had Google eyes for the guy that sang "Tear the Roof Off the City," that one, you know. So, you know, I met the background singers, and, you know, I'm talking, and he's talking to me, and I'm talking to him. I'm just thinking I'm cute, knowing that my parents is going to be picking me up, right? So he asked me for my number. I gave him the number, you know what I mean? Not thinking that the guy is going to call me. And he calls me, and he says, "Hello, may I speak?" My dad answered the phone. He's like, "Hello, may I speak to Paula?" And my dad's like, "Paula, some guy's on the phone for you." And it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. My heart is beating fast. I'm nervous. So he's like, "Hey, this is Ray from Parliament. Where do you live? Because we want to send a mothership to come pick you up." I was like, Okay, now I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking I've grown cute. I got this number. I'm all excited. You know what I mean? And my dad is on the other end listening. And he's like, if you don't hang up this phone right now, who is this calling my daughter? And what mothership are you talking about? I just said click. I mean, it was the most embarrassing thing ever. But you see how easy it is to do that. Because you get so caught up. Starstruck. Yeah. Yeah, I was starstruck.
Well, when you know better, you do better, right? You ain't go, did you? Oh.
No, I didn't. Are you kidding me? I had a curfew.
You had a curfew? All right. Okay, you know what? I think our first guest is on the line, Mr. J.L. King. You know, a couple of years ago, I think in the 90s, he shook the world with his candid inside information about that whole DL phenomenon. And he's back again with the new book On the Download 2. And he says things haven't changed. So we're going to have him on the show right now to talk about his new book and about the whole phenomenon. So we want to welcome to the show Mr. J.L. King. How are you, sir?
Hey, yeah, man, I'm great. And yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you so much for agreeing to do the interview. Congratulations on your new book and everything that you've been doing. We were talking about you a little bit earlier, you know, checking you out, seeing all the things that you're doing. You're also working with, you're a counselor for HIV as well, right?
Well, no, I am an HIV prevention activist.
Okay.
I really support those individuals who are on the front line trying to educate and prevent the continued spread of the virus, as well as other STDs. So, yeah, I'm big on that. So I do a lot of things. I own a publishing company. I ghostwrite other people's books. I produce plays. You know, you name it, I got my hands in it probably.
What's up? So how long have you actually been writing books?
Wow, I've been writing, man, ever since I was in high school. Never thought I would be a writer. That was never my forte. But just God has a special way to give you this talent. And I'm more of a storyteller than I am a writer.
Okay.
And what makes best-selling authors is that we have to be able to tell stories. It's the people behind us, the editors and the proofreaders. They are the ones who make our words come alive on paper. So I'm a great storyteller, and that's what has made me successful in the 18 books I've written.
18?
Wow. Yeah.
Whoa. And what period of time? How many years?
Oh man, over the course of probably, I'm going to say 20 years maybe.
Wow. So you're constantly writing.
That's 18 of my own. That don't include all the ghostwriting I've done for others that help them also become published.
Oh, awesome.
How you doing, Mr. King? My name is LeVar. My question for you is, what made you want to write your first book on the Download One?
You know, I just thought there was someone needed to tell that story. And there are, of course, millions, I think, of men, white, black, Latino, Asian, that could have told that same story. There was nothing new. No one just ever told it in a public way.
It was taboo.
And as a father of a daughter and having a lot of play daughters and nieces, and looking at my own behavior and the behavior of a lot of my close and dearest friends, I just thought that women were really being psyched out and fooled so bad they didn't even know what was going on. And all the funerals I went to and all of my friends that died of AIDS, and I just thought I just needed to tell the story to protect my own daughter. I didn't write it to be a movement. I didn't ever thought that it would have the type of success it did have and still have. I just wanted to tell my story so my daughter and all my play daughters could understand about the different behaviors that men do. I didn't want them to get caught up.
All right.
Hey, Mr. King, how are you doing?
Okay, I'm good.
All right, I had a question for you. My name is Omar. You said one of the reasons for the DL movement is that when most black people think of gay, they think of like movies, shows like You Live in Color with the cast like Blaine and Antonio. I mean Antoine. Sorry, not like LL Cool J or NBA or NFL players. Why you think that's so?
I think because of a lot of it is the media, man. I think the media has always showed black gay men in that type of role. You know, very, very effeminate, very, very clown-like. And even today, there are a lot of black gay men who get TV and movie deals because they have to portray that type of an image. But since I have used my book and my platform, I have put another light on gay men. That we are masculine, that we are fathers, that we are lawyers and doctors, that we don't switch, we don't wear high heels, and we are as masculine as our straight counterparts. And that has always been my number one message to women is to don't think that all black gay men are what you have been told they are. Look at me. And so when the times I've been on Oprah and Wendy and other shows, I've always said that, who I sleep with does not define who I am as a man. That I'm very comfortable, that I have children, I have a grandson. So I think I've tried to break that stereotype, and I'm glad now that some producers like Empire and others have shown black gay men in a more masculine way.
Right.
Hi, Mr. King. How are you? My name is Paula B.
Hi, Paula.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
What are some of the what are the signs of the down low, and how can women not find themselves in a relationship with a man who lies about his sexuality?
That's $1 million question.
I'm glad I asked.
And we would need like 5 hours just to deal with that question.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give you signs. They all know signs. But everybody's tour, speak, do book signing for years. That question comes up every single time. Is what are the signs? And I always say, I can't give you that because the same signs of a man cheating with another man are the same signs of a man cheating with another woman, and vice versa. So there are no telltale signs. I did put some things in the new book as well as the old book, but I always have told my own daughter and all my girlfriends that you got this intuition, and when something's not right. When your man is not treating you right, or that you feel that something's not right with him. And I've always told women, and I still tell them, if you have that intuition that your man is doing something that makes you uncomfortable, then you need to get nosy.
I know, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But no, go ahead.
But 9 times out of 10, when you do feel like something is wrong, that your man is out there doing something, 9 times out of 10, women think it's another woman. We would never think in a million years that it was another man.
Yeah, you're right. And
so
I think
that's why we're asking for the signs.
Yeah, I know. In the new book, I started out with a story of a sister, a Facebook friend of mine, who reached out to me, and she said her husband told her that he had been having sexual relations with other men after she had found some type of a gay porno DVD in his car or something. And so when she confronted him and said, "Are you having sex with men?" He told her, "Yes, I am." And she said that she still didn't want to believe him, and she still stayed. And she said, "Well, why don't we go get counseling?" She did not want to believe that her husband was having sex. He admitted it, and she's still with him. So it's really a tricky question because there are so many women who just refuse to believe it. Right. They don't want to believe it. They are comfortable in where they are. I met a lot of sisters. I live in Atlanta. I've met a lot of sisters who are married to very powerful, very wealthy men who have sex on the side with other men, and those women know it, but they don't want to leave that comfort lifestyle. They don't work. They go to parties and they spend money at high-end stores, and they don't want to disrupt their lives just because he is having sex. They stay.
Yeah.
So do you think? I'm sorry.
So, Mr. King, when you came out with this book, did you know that you was going to be now the face of what is considered the down low, and then how did you handle that?
Man, it was hard. It's hard because I'm a father. At the time, both my children were in college. My son was at Hampton, and my daughter was at Central State University, another HBCU. So they had to deal with being the children of the down low brother, right?
Yeah, right.
And it was hard on them. It was hard on my family, period. And so I never thought that Oprah would want me to be on her show. That and all the other, not just her, but all the other media coverage I got during that period of my life. No, I never did, man. 14 years later, and that book still is selling. It's been translated into 30 different languages. It's required reading at 15 universities. I never thought that. Never in a million years. But it was hard. It was hard for me to really grasp all that because I didn't have a staff. I didn't have people. Mm-hmm. It was just me. And even after I left Oprah the first time, I didn't have people. And just to deal with that type of notoriety instantly, You know, it was hard. It was shocking. You know, all of a sudden you recognize wherever you go, people either hated you or they loved you, and you know they wanted money from you, and it became almost more hell than heaven.
So, Mr. King, I had a quick question about the book. So, who do you think your most supporters are? Do you think it's the LGBT community or more so straight women who trying to figure out if their men are on the down low?
I think it's women, not women who are trying to figure out. It's women who want to protect themselves and their daughters and their family members. The book was never written for gay men or about gay men, you know. Never, even though I got a bad rap that I was outing gay men, never ever wanted, my book was never about gay men. My book was never about outing anybody. It was my own personal life and how I was living, and it had nothing to do with gay men. I had a lot of gay friends. I didn't write that book about them. And I never have. I'm a gay man now, so a part of the community. But even 14 years ago, I never, ever did. A lot of gay men thought that I was outing them. And I'm like, dude, I'm not outing you. You don't even have a liking or a desire or want to have sex with a woman. I'm just talking about those brothers who are bisexual, who are doing both and not giving their woman an opportunity to decide if she wanted to stay or not, and to put her in danger. That was my message. You know, my gay friends, you know, they're cool. They weren't trying to give her no females and trying to destroy their lives. You know, that wasn't even their interest.
Yeah. One of the things that I was researching when I was researching, I saw that you had made a statement, which unfortunately I was a victim of. You said society teaches our young gay and lesbian children to lead double lives. Can you explain that?
Oh, man. I mean, even today I get so many emails from young people. I'm like 13, 14, 15 years old, 16, 17, all the way through college, who tell me that they know they're gay, they know they're lesbian, they're happy and they're comfortable in that skin. But their grandmother, their pastor, their mom and dad forces them or insists that they go into a relationship with opposite sex because they want to be a grandfather or grandmother. Or they know their son is gay or their daughter is a lesbian, but they don't want that shame to come on the family. One young brother out of Charleston, South Carolina, just told me recently that his grandparents had threatened that they would no longer take care of him, pay for his college education, if he continues to tell folk that he's gay. They refuse to accept the fact that their grandson is gay, and they're doing everything possible to get him to change his mind and get a girlfriend, from even trying to hook him up with girls at the church. And we do that all over the country. We force our LGBT youth who are maybe in college to look at who they love as going against God, going against family, going against, everything. I still have a lot of gay friends who are married. I'm married at my age. They're married and still maintaining that front at my age, who are still afraid to be who they are because of their church, their family. Yeah, they're afraid.
Yeah.
Right. I did some research as well, and I was curious. I know that you wrote a book with your ex-wife called The XFactor, geared to help other couples. How did that work, and how did you and your wife heal through all of that to come together to write the book? I thought that was amazing.
It took a long time. It didn't happen overnight. She is my best friend. She's remarried. She's happy. We still get together for family gatherings. But way back in the day, she had to get to a place where she knew that she didn't want to be unhappy for the rest of her life. So she forgave me. She said, I forgive you. And she said, I do not want your mess to mess up my life. And we're going to use our story to help other couples so they don't go through what we went through. And she's very spiritual. She's my baby mama, my first girlfriend. And she loves me. She tells me all the time, I still love you. I'm proud of you, and I support you. So once she got to that place where she forgave me, we were able to move ahead and write the book.
We have a question that was submitted from a guest. It says, if you knew all the threats, love, hate, etc., would you do it the same way as far as writing the books, or would you write it anonymously?
No, I would do the same thing. I think this book was my calling. Okay. I think it was something that the Spirit wanted me to do. He chose me. He could have chose many men, but I was chose.
Okay.
Also, Mr. King, I have a question. Also, like, you and your wife y'all came with a book about how to get over the past. So you say you have kids. Then, if I'm not mistaken, you wrote something about teaching sexuality in school.
Yes, I did a book. A partner of mine did a book. He's a professor at Clark Atlanta University, and he wanted to write a book together so teachers, educators could understand how to understand young LGBT students because a lot of them still did not understand those LGBTQ students, as well as they didn't understand if a student had two fathers, two mothers. They needed to understand that whole culture. My daughter is a school teacher in D.C., and she also has been encouraging me to continue to push that with the education system because a lot of teachers and educators and administrators, they're still very homophobic. They're still, God did not make man, for that. They still have that attitude, and they put it on to the students, and it really hurts students, and they end up, either suicide or becoming homeless, or they end up getting a girlfriend, which kind of just keeps this whole cycle going again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I read your old book, your first book on the download. And as far as your new book, I know you got one coming out. What can I expect, as far as the revelations and the DL movement coming from the new book? And when can I expect to get it?
It's funny that I didn't want to write a download too. It was the furthest thing from my mind. But because of the demand for so many of my girlfriends, and you got to tell that story, you got to come out with something because the generation that was 12, 10 years old when you first did the first book 14 years ago, they're now 24, they're 25, they're 26. They need to know about this so they can protect themselves, so they can understand that this behavior is very much still alive. So I had to revisit some of the old stuff. I had to take people back from the beginning and bring them forward. In this book, I had the first exclusive interview with a down low sister. For years, I've been asking, why don't you write about down low sisters? Why don't you write about down low sisters? I'm like, I can't write that story. It had to be a woman who wants to tell her story. So in the book, the new book, there is a story about a sister who's on the DL, and she talks about her life of living, with her husband and having a girlfriend on the side. Also, I brought in other voices from individuals, so very interesting individuals, to talk about their journey as grandfathers and older men. Also, the whole HIV piece, I stepped away from that because that's not my area of expertise, but I got Dr. David Melbranch, who is a renowned HIV gay doctor who put his words and his voice to deal with that issue. The book is amazing. It is freaking amazing. It's about 200 pages, I think, but it should be released by August the 1st. It just went to the printer this morning, so I definitely got to get a copy of it. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to take you back, but then it's going to bring you forward to why things are still the way they are 14 years ago.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I have another question for you, though. This is Will. So I know you made the reference earlier that people were thinking that you were exposing people. And when I was researching some hot topics, I saw that there was a gay blogger. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Markeith Rivers. He basically is on purpose. He's exposing men for being on the down low. But recently, he was shot, beaten, and robbed in revenge of exposing somebody. They went that far. So in you doing this, when people were thinking this, what you were doing, did you get any death threats or any assaults or anything like that?
I did. I got a lot of death threats from mostly men who were mad at me because it made their wives take another look at them and have that very uncomfortable question of, are you having sex with men? Have you ever messed around with a man? A lot of women went that far. They just went straight to their lover, their husband, their wife. They went to their husband and said, I read J.L King's book, and he says this, and I want to know, be honest with me, are you having sex with a man? Have you ever? And they got mad at me, so they would always, take that anger out on me.
Right.
Of course, a lot of gay men were mad at me again because they thought I was talking about them, but exactly. I never was. I never really exposed anybody. There's no names in that book or the new book. Yes, I know a lot of celebrities who live that double life. Yes, I've been exposed to that, but I will never, ever drop names. That's not who I am or what I want to do.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I feel honored that you came on my show. How can people follow you? And then you said the book will be out probably in August. Where will they be able to get it?
Because I didn't want to sell this book to Random House, who published the first one, because one of the things that when you sell your book like Elin Harris and others who had sold our books to major publishers, they own it, they control it, and I never wanted to go through that again. They still own on the download. I've been offered so many opportunities to do movies from Spike Lee to Tyler to others over the years about my life story, but I refuse to let it go because I don't own that book. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So this book here I own. So it'll be successful, but it won't happen as fast as the first one did because I own it.
Right.
But you can buy it at onthedownload2.com. I'm going to keep it there for a while.
Okay.
It'll be an ebook on, of course, Amazon. It'll definitely be there.
Okay.
And eventually I'll probably get a distributor and put it out throughout the masses. But right now, onthedownload2.com is where you can order the book.
Awesome. And where can they follow you on social media?
Oh, of course, everywhere. I got 2 Facebook pages, J.L. King, Big J, little L King, and then 2 both caps, J.L. King. See here, Twitter, James, what is it, Dr. James Lewis King, Instagram, which I just started working on. But Facebook probably be the best way to follow me right now.
Okay, awesome. But again, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you. I appreciate all you guys. I love you for this. And this is the first interview I've done for the new book, and I can definitely give you guys credit for getting me ready for what's to come.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Good luck on your book too.
Good luck.
Thank you.
It was an honor.
Yes. Have a good night. Dang. Okay. So, you know what to look for?
You still don't know what to look for?
No, he said there's no signs. It's nothing to look for. I guess evidently you would have to take that sign that your man is cheating and investigate.
But that's a married
what
woman.
is the finger trade?
Here's a question that I will have for you. Is it how will you find out if your husband cheated on you with a man versus a woman? Do you think you feel differently? Because like with a woman, if he cheat on you with another woman, you on the same playing field. But if he cheat on you with a man, how does that make you feel as a woman?
Good question.
I was asked that question before. And I probably would feel like any other woman, like just probably distraught. You got to be kidding me. And but I probably would have to take a moment to absorb all of that. Yeah. But cheating is a cheating, regardless of what a man or a woman. That just happens to be your preference. And I probably would feel the same. You know, I think the betrayal is the same.
So that's a good question. I don't want to cut you off, but I know there's a lot of things that people say they can't forgive. A liar, a thief, whatever. Some people have been cheated on in relationships and marriages, and they worked it out. If your husband had cheated on you with a man, would that be something you found out about it? Would that be something that you could still work out, or would the relationship be over?
If he said to me that, you know, this is my life and, you know, I want to be with a man. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm still, and you know, you don't fall out of love that easy, you know, that quickly, just because you said your preference is a man. You know, I would have to say, okay, because that's what you want to do. But would I still love him? Absolutely, because I've always loved you, and I have unconditional love for you. Am I going to be hurt and devastated? I would be hurt and devastated if it was a man or a woman. Okay. But again, your choice is your choice, and that's how I would deal with it. Period.
I think I wish we could have talked to him more because, you know, I believe in the beginning he was saying also that it was the black church and the black community that made him feel like he had to be DL. So I was wondering, like, now that he done came out to everyone that, like, now that he said he's gay, how does he feel going back into the black church?
I don't know why they say, to me, you know, we have to stop tagging black this, black that. You're gay. You know what I mean? You're a murderer. You know, crime is crime. You know, it doesn't have any. You went to church. It just happened to be a church with all African Americans, and that's what they preach because that's what it says in the Bible. So no matter where you go, they're still saying the same message.
We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that.
Okay, well, okay.
We're going to scratch that last statement, please.
Okay. That's two different.
That's a whole nother show.
I'm just saying. I don't want to get too deep about it.
Yeah,
but,
Look in our archives.
I definitely think, and I was raised in the church. My grandfather's a pastor. I definitely think that people are going to definitely have different opinions about gay in the church. But I also think there's something called unconditional love, and it has to be established at home, you know, and so regardless of whether you were raised or born in the church, you know, your family should be the ones to accept you first, regardless of whether they're in the church or not, and then the love should become abroad.
That is true. Now, my daughter is gay, and I'm, you know, very
She
transparent.
said thanks.
I know. I mean,
Thanks for honoring her.
I mean, it took a long time for me just to say that. You know, now I can. You know how they have those bumper stickers.
Yeah.
You know, I can put one of those in my car now. I'm joking.
You're cool now.
But yeah, I'm cool with it. But I had a very difficult time, even though I'm real cool. I had a difficult time with that, and after a while, she was hurting. You know what I mean? My daughter was hurting because she just had a breakdown.
Yeah.
You know, because she was like stuck. She couldn't live her life. You know what I mean? And she just started. She's like, Mom, I'm just, you know, I'm gay. I want to be with my girlfriend. And she feels like we were swallowing her up because she was trying to please me, live this double life. And I felt I was broken because I saw all the hurt but it was tormenting her. You know what I mean? And that was difficult for me to see. I still had a hard time with it. But now my daughter told me on Sunday that she's so proud of me, which made me happy because she said, Mom,
all that crying.
Yes, you know, that you have changed so much because that's my daughter. Through and through, and
I did that for you. I did that too.
Yeah, you did.
I think that's great because I think my mom has accepted who I am. She has not accepted what the lifestyle that I live,
the culture,
right?
And so I can respect that because I'm not trying to change her and how she feels about her God or whatever she believes. But the fact that she can accept her son and who he is, that, I mean, nothing else matters.
Right. I mean.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Can you separate the two?
I'm not God.
That's the point.
I'm her child, so I mean that would be the difference.
I want to go back to where you said that, you know, say when you go home, love starts in the home and stuff like that. And I think like if I'm a teenager and I can't come to my mother and my father about this because I don't understand it, I just know I have a new feeling. I would think the church is sure where I'd be able to go because, you know, if you, like you said, you're born in the church, you know, saying you're raised in the church, you got a relationship with your pastor, you got a pastor with the deacons, the first ladies and everything. So that I'm just saying that's what you would think because I was in church all the time, you know. So my mom had me in the choir and I couldn't even sing a lick, but I was there. But the thing is, if you can't talk to your parent, like I feel like when you church or when you choose to worship and stuff like that, that's where you should be able to take any burden that you have and discuss because you're not gonna be able to. Not if it was that easy about coming to your parents and stuff like that, I feel like these coming out parties and stuff would not exist. True. So how is the one place where I'm supposed to worship, believe that God is going to love me unconditionally, but if I go tell my pastor, he's going to kick me out of the church? How is that?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. That should be the place you go. But because I think I'm going to give the church credit for today.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Churches came a long way.
Going backwards, there's no way. You know what I mean? Because they would whisper. Because, you know, and I'm not trying to be biased, but most of the choir directors at a church are gay. If you go to the gospel music workshop, my mom said it's the most flamboyant thing ever. You know, but the thing of it is today, their doors are open. I mean, I went to Wils church. It doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? It's very diverse. And what was the other thing that you said? Your church is
it's inclusive.
My
church
inclusive.
But I'm a person. I told you I've joined every church in Hampton Roads. My church is in Suffolk now, almost Suffolk.
Right.
And I started in Virginia Beach.
Why did you change churches?
Because I'm not going to pay you if you're going to sit there and bash me from the pulpit. Okay. I'll leave mid-service, and I've done that.
You can have my seat.
So, but you,
because he in the club.
But you are supposed to love no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter who. You should love unconditionally and be forgiving. Those are but the most important thing that we're supposed to do out of all the word that's in the Bible is to love thy neighbor.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, love is my favorite word. That's what you're supposed to do. It didn't say what kind of neighbor, what color is the neighbor, who the neighbor's talking to. It said, love thy neighbor.
Right.
And that's what we're supposed to do. And once you get that, you should be okay. Once the pastors in the church, once they get it, and I think that that's why I'm going to give them a little bit of credit, because I think that they are getting it. You know, their doors are open now to anything, because they want to pretty much heal the world, and that's what they should be doing.
I mean, it was, I guess people felt that you was more so running them out of the church instead of allowing them to be in the church. And I will say that, you know, as we were talking about the black church in the beginning, you know, it is, I would say, more, I don't want to say tolerating. I think that's the word I want to use. I don't know if I want to say accepting. I think it's more of tolerating now, but also because everybody needs a place to worship. Everybody needs a place to home, because, you know, at the end of the day, everybody gonna call Lord, you know, amen, whoever, you know. So, but if you push them out, you know, and technically y'all believe that it's wrong, you know, how are they gonna get delivered, or how are they gonna get set free, or how are we gonna whatever, you know? But there has to be a place, and there has to be a platform for them to come in here, you know. And I'm not opposed to listening to a pastor, my personal self, speak about gay and homosexuality. I mean, it's in the Bible. I mean, I don't need you to ad-lib to it, you know. But but tell me what the word says, and, you know, you could tell me what the Lord said. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, you know. Tell me what it says, you know. And it's up to me, you know, as they say, chew the meats without the bone.
True.
Right. I mean, they try to deliver you and heal you from being gay. But, you know, look at Donnie McClurkin.
He said he's not gay.
He said he's not gay. He said that he was delivered.
He delivered.
I know, but that's what he said.
That's Donnie.
We're praying. We're still praying for him. But we have a comment. I think it was in regards to what you said earlier. She said a woman can compete with another woman, but a woman can't compete with another man. Regarding
meaning cheating. When we're talking about cheating,
right? But why can't she compete with another man?
Because it's
your equipment's
things.
a little different.
It's not even about the equipment. It's about the connection. You know, because I asked this one person, because he was, I have some friends that used to be married, have kids and everything, and now they're gay. So I just asked him, what was the transition? How did you decide that you want to be with men? And they said, like, and it's all go back into the whole DL thing too. Also, like, they always had a desire, but they was fighting it because they was all taught that it was wrong.
Right.
So that's and I think that's exactly what the whole lot of the DL thing come from. Because in the household where you say the household is from, you are taught that it's wrong, especially in the black household. And I'm only speaking on a black household because that's the household I was raised in. And in the community there, and it just tells you that it's no wrong. You're a black man. You're supposed to be with a black woman. Spread black love, make black babies, and keep on going. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And being a man in your house, because they think because all of a sudden if you're gay, you're no longer a man.
Yeah, you're weak.
And that's and that's what it go back to the stereotypes too. Like every man don't want to walk in heels or wear wigs or do makeup. You know what I'm saying? I know some men that offended when you ask, like, because a female had asked this one guy that I know, oh, can you teach him how to do makeup? And he got offended. And she was like, well, why would he get offended? Because she just think that because when she's on TV, all men want to wear wigs, wear dresses and makeup. And I think instead of, you know, those are the stereotypes now that we have to fight. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's for us.
No, go ahead, baby.
For us, having a gay male friend is like the best thing since sliced bread. I'm just saying, women typically the stereo because, you know, you can talk to them about anything. They can tell you from both perspectives, and they're great on telling you the do's and don'ts. I mean, I call Will all the time. I'm like, well, he does makeup and hair, but, you know, should I wear this? Should I do that? I mean, they're like the best friend ever.
See, you didn't call me. You didn't call me today.
I had just read.
I was really hot. You know, I had to run home and take a shower.
So it was so crazy. I just read an article about that today, and it said a woman will love a gay male friend until their child come out and says they're gay.
Oh, yeah.
So, meaning saying, like, it's fine if, you know, I got one to hang out with, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, not saying this is you, I'm just saying, like, what you see portrayed. Like, sometimes women use gay men as an accessory. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this girl, this is my boo, this is my da-da-da girl. He did my hair, he picked out my outfit. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, some people find that offensive. But if you're the same girlfriend that you have, and then you said her son come out gay, it's sometimes a double standard.
Yeah.
Really?
But Shorty,
Go ahead.
we're gonna go ahead. You had a topic, and then I want to ask Kabaz about prep.
Oh, so my topic is about, it was an article that it was some creator, some title of the creator.
Oh yeah.
He said he's only date white men. He's a black rapper.
I read that.
And he only date white men.
Yeah.
And I wonder how you feel about that, because I understand that you have a preference. I get it. Everybody has a preference. Mm-hmm. You're entitled to your preference. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it's a different when you have a preference and then you downgrade a whole different race. Like if I say I only date white men or something like that because I don't like black men, that's where it's become offensive. So I think in that article,
because the article I read the article too, and he said he's not into black men at all. Is that putting down a race?
No. So I'm not.
I don't think so.
So the thing is, I don't think it's putting down a rate. But if he's like, yeah, because black men are disgusting, I would just have to talk to him.
Oh, did he say all that?
No, I'm just saying I would have to talk to him and find out what is the detail. Because once again, I have a whole spectrum of friends, and I have friends that say I don't date black men. I will sleep with them, but I won't date them. And I would never ever. They would never give it to me as a black male. I would find that very offensive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I just try to be open minded and try to understand where people are coming from, but I just really can't grasp that concept.
I've dated plenty of black men in my 37 years. Where are the white men at, please?
So you're open to it?
I've dated plenty of black men. Hence, I'm single today. What's today? Where the white man at?
But what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But why would that be offensive to you? Because that is his preference. Do you
because
feel
he's a black man.
It's almost is it self-hatred?
That's what I feel like. If you're a black man and you're interracial relationship, that is perfectly fine. You can do that. I have nothing wrong with that. But when you go to the point where you say it's disgusting or you just find them unattractive, you're a black man. How do you look in the mirror and not see yourself as an attractive black man?
Let's face it, caller, you're on the air. How can I help you?
Yeah, this is Devontae. How you doing?
Hey, Devontae. What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
What's on my mind?
Yeah.
Okay, so, because this situation like this, I have this best friend, and he broke up with this guy. And they had like a really clean breakup or whatever. So then the ex-boyfriend started coming around my house and hanging out with me. And we started kicking it. So then my best friend gets mad at me, but he clearly had no interest in the boy, but he said that because that was his ex, I couldn't talk to him. Am I wrong for establishing something with the ex-boyfriend?
Is it like...
So, wait a minute. So your best friend broke up with his boyfriend, and then you and his ex got together?
It wasn't like immediately. It was like over a period of 2 years. It wasn't like immediately.
But your loyalty is with the best friend, or your loyalty is with his boyfriend? I'm confused.
Well, I mean, I'm not loyal. Neither one.
I personally think that I don't care how long it's been. Like I couldn't date, especially as best friends. I mean, the Totwater area that we live in is very small, so you're always gonna bump into someone that you know has dated someone else. But if you're calling someone your best friend or an immediate friend, I think it's very disrespectful and distasteful. That's my personal opinion, to be even trying to discuss or date someone so close.
Even if you cheat on that guy?
I don't think that's your. I don't like that.
I don't think that justifies that you're dating, but I do believe sometimes you can find love in different places and wrong places, but I think it's all about how the delivery is. When you started finding feelings for the ex or that you wanted to be with the ex, I think you should have had the conversation with your best friend to see how he feels about it. And if your best friend wasn't going to be open-minded and wasn't going to take in consideration how you feel about that, then you have to weather wet friendships, you know what I'm saying? Because there are sometimes you have best friends that are selfish, you know what I'm saying? But it's also a thing called guy code too, you know what I'm saying? And there's, let me see if this is the correct word. You know, there's sticks over, you know, tricks and stuff like that. So we're going to use that. Tricks. I don't think any of those words are, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just on the delivery. If you would have had this conversation with your best friend and gave him the opportunity.
So I did leave the other part. My best friend told me, he said, well, y'all should be together anyway. Y'all need to go ahead and talk.
And then he's mad that y'all together?
Yeah, so I was like,
Oh,
well,
that's
he
on
gave me
him. You
that.
got to deal with those feelings. Because if you already had the conversation
Yeah,
with him,
so I mean,
no, don't feel bad at all.
Well-
Because now he in his feelings.
You know what, Devontae? This is Will. Okay, so I feel totally different than both of them because I really don't care.
And that's tied.
Me
Okay.
and my ex, me and my ex were together 16 years, and my ex was actually dating my good. He wasn't my best friend, but he was a good friend, and he introduced me to him, and there was chemistry between us, and we were together 16 years after that. And I didn't see a problem with it.
So he was dating your best friend before he dated you.
They were talking. They weren't like in a,
They
had
were
met
talking.
each other and they were getting to
see,
know each other.
that's what the two ages of dating. Like, it's like you either dating, talking, hanging out.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I think
Well,
that.
I think.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm gonna agree with Shorty. And,
Okay.
and I know you don't. But I'm just saying that if all three of you guys sat down
At dinner.
because it's a triangle. So if all three of you guys sat down because it's a respective person as well and said, "Hey, I have feelings for Shorty. Well, we're best friends. I don't want to just. How do you feel about Shorty and I dating?" And if you say you give me your
The go.
blessing, then I'm gonna go for it because that's gonna let me know that you're gonna be okay. Because I'm
Exactly.
asking you, but I'm
Exactly.
asking
Exactly.
you to be transparent with me.
Correct.
So
Exactly. But
if
then
you're
you
not
are
gonna
being
be
freaking
transparent, right, and you're gonna do the dog and pony show with me, then that's your responsibility and you're accountable for that. Because that is a feeling that you embarked upon yourself. But I'm asking you to be transparent. It's either it's okay. I mean, Shorty, we're probably going to date anyway, even if he said no. But at least I asked you.
But I also heard you make a reservation to the fact that, but he cheated on him, and I think that's not a fair statement to make, even though you want to date him, even though there could have been chemistry. But because I believe that when you're best friends, you and your best friends can pretty much talk about anything and everything.
That's
And so therefore, you shouldn't be breaking, like you said, the guy code or that bond between the two of you, even though you may have known.
I didn't tell the guy. I didn't tell the ex-boyfriend that the guy cheated on him. That's not my place to tell him. But I do know that for a fact because my best friend told me. I didn't tell him that, look, your boyfriend was cheating on you the whole time. I didn't tell him that because that's not my place.
I get it, but when you have to understand when you was in the process of defending yourself and you're defending your relationship, you brought up that point. So you have used that now subconsciously. You have used that before. You might not know that you have done it, but subconsciously you done it. That has nothing to do with the tape. That what you and your
Check
current
out
friend.
Iyanla Van Zandt.
Yes,
And he's so serious about it. He's like really getting into it. Like, where's my contract? I ain't the relationship coach now.
But
We
no.
told
I
you
love
it's
you.
gonna be like
I
that.
love you, my beloved. I love you.
Yes,
my beloved.
right. Yeah, beloved.
So your issue at hand is how do you maintain a relationship with your current person and your best friend? You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that your best friend is going to be angry, so you have to let him go through that. You know what I'm saying? For y'all to get back to where y'all at, he has to go through that because you know what I'm saying. You have to understand at some point he cared about this person. At some point he confided in you about this person. So he probably thinking, if I'm sitting here confiding to my best friend about my boo, is he plotting against me to get with my boo? So if everything that I said to him, is he used that against me to get with my friend? So that's the other way you gotta look at it. Sometimes you gotta take yourself out the situation, look at it if it was to happen to you and how you will react.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they answer your question, Devontae?
Can I get a wedding invite?
I ain't coming.
As of now, there is no wedding right now because yeah. That's,
Well, I hope it
I'm
works
not
out
even-
for you and your new boo, and if not, your best friend might not be around.
Well,
Sure ain't.
Devontae, thanks for calling. Thanks for listening. You know what? Keep tuning in because we're going to have some hot topics after. We have a guest coming up, but we have some more topics that you may be interested in.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
I might agree
night.
with you,
Thank
Omar.
Your best friend won't be there.
Sure ain't.
Crazy.
Don't
So,
call me.
Omar, somebody said, I agree with Omar, but I asked which statement. I haven't heard back. But somebody said they agree. For some
I think
reason,
he's
agree
talking about
with.
the whole thing where you don't cross that friendship.
I just don't think that you should do it. I've had personal situations where my best friends have been attracted to me, and I've reciprocated where I was attracted to one of my best friends' friend. And so regardless of the chemistry, and even though none of them are together today, I would never, and I could never. It was just you just don't
Right.
do it.
I mean,
I
it's
just
a code
can't.
of- it's
Right.
a
I
code
just
of
can't.
honor.
I actually think this is our next guest, Miss Angeline Hart. She wrote, along with Dixon, I believe it's Schwenk, wrote The Guerrilla Love System. And this best-selling book, gorillas make great lovers, which again I agree with. They have identified 12 types of men and given each type an animal name based on his focus in life. This fun system that moves people from the meat market, as she says, mentality of online dating. Instead, women can identify the basic nature of the type of man she really wants. No more Mr. Wrong. So we want to welcome to the show Miss Angeline Hart. How are you?
I'm great. Delighted to be on your show.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. So, why do women feel as though they can't find good men?
Well,
and my co-host Paula, she's laughing. So let's hear this answer.
So Paula, have you had this challenge?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you a little story to explain it then.
Okay.
So we live in Southern California, in San Diego, and the iconic Southern California car is a Prius. So about 2 years ago, my husband bought a Prius. Before he bought it, among the hundreds of cars on the freeway, I could not have identified a Prius. But now that we have a Prius, I can recognize a Prius even if it's 3 lanes away, and all I'm seeing is the back end as it slides behind another car.
Okay.
So here's what happens. In your mind, we have a part of it, I think it's called the amygdala, that sorts for us. And it sorts and looks for things that are familiar. And so, Paula, what happens is probably in your early life, maybe your dad, I don't know, maybe your brothers, whatever, you had a relationship pattern, or maybe it was the first guy you dated. You had a relationship pattern, and now what happens is your brain, literally, subconsciously, keeps looking for a repeat of that pattern. And so you're going to keep finding the wrong kind of men until you learn a new pattern. I hate to tell you that bad news.
You know what? That makes sense to me. That makes sense.
Well,
Lord Paula. Angeline, I think you're onto something.
Well, I know I am.
Yes.
It's like this. Well, if you and Paula and I all went to a big cocktail party and there's 50 people in that room, we are going to automatically, subconsciously be attracted to the type of people that we are familiar with. So let's just pretend you had a purple mohawk and a bunch of tats on your left arm.
Okay.
You're going to be attracted to the people who have the tats and the purple mohawk.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now that's a surface visible thing that you can easily recognize, but subconsciously we are attracted to certain kinds of familiar energy. So Paula, I'm going to make a wild guess here. Let's say, Paula, that maybe your father was over controlling, was maybe emotionally abusive, maybe
Absolutely.
he discounted your opinions. Maybe you had older brothers who made fun of you when you tried to stand up for yourself or something like that. So what's going to happen is when you walk into that room full of, all these people at this party, and you're saying to yourself, tonight I'm going to get me a good one. But subconsciously, you are going to be attracted to the same type of energy. He's going to have on a different suit, and you're going to say to yourself, I found a good one. See, look at him. He's so cute. He's this, he's this, he's this. And 6 months into it, or maybe even, it's the same person.
I think that's really cool.
Well, it's really frustrating for women.
Yes, it's absolutely. Well, this is Paula. How are you? Okay, so my question is, where are the good men hiding, if they even exist?
Well, let me start by telling you, Paula, they absolutely exist. And I do know the secret of where to find them. And I actually I honestly do. And I help women find good men all the time. And I actually you're a perfect lead-in for this, but Paula, I created a program to help teach any woman how to find good men that are uniquely right for her. My kind of good man, Paula, is probably a little bit different than the kind of good man that you would choose. So you want to find the right kind of good man for you. And I have a program that does that. And if any of your listeners want to, I mean, I've had women say to me, oh my goodness, if you could really, truly teach me how to pick out the good men, how to find them, where are they hiding, under what rock, it'd be worth $1,000 to me.
Wow.
Well, my program costs a whole lot less than that because I want to help as many women as possible. And if your people or you want to have this program, you can find it by going to go.gorillalove.com. And that'll take you straight to my little thing where you can sign up for that program.
Awesome.
Miss Hart, my name is LeVar. Do you find that married men are happier?
You know what? They've done studies about that. Now, all the myths out there say that men don't want to be tied down. They want to be free to be with all the women they want, and it's the women who are trying to tie them down. But the reality is married men are happier than single men, and married women are not as happy as single women. So it's actually the reverse of the myth.
So why do you say that about women? That
Why
they're
do
not
I
as
say that
happy?
they're not? Well, here's what happens. Women want the relationship, and they're willing to put in more work to have it. However, because we tend to believe that this is as good as we can get, we will actually make ourselves be happy when what we've got is more lemon than lemonade, and we need some sugar to put in there to make it turn into lemonade. And we'll try to get along anyway. And so what we have happening is a rise in the amount of cheating that not just men are doing, but that women are doing now too.
Wow. Okay.
That's pretty cool. My name's Omar, and I got a question. You know, I know you were talking about good men for women, but I mean, I'm trying to find out a man for a man, but no. What about the listeners on this gorilla quiz? Like, can you explain like where we can take it, or you know, what is it gonna teach us?
Okay, so I've identified 12 different types of men, and it's based on what motivates them, what drives them. It's based on their basic character. For example, one that you would already know that everybody would be familiar with is a shark. We all know that a shark is a man who is motivated by financial success. And so that's what drives him. He may be a workaholic because he wants to make money. He wants the latest Rolex watch. He wants the biggest house on the street.
Yes.
He wants to be the top salesman in the office.
Yes.
And there's a lot of women that want that kind of man. They want someone who's motivated to provide that good life.
I'm a
Well,
shark.
there's
Yes.
Well, I'm going to guess that, well, since you're in a creative industry, radio, you probably also have some Panther in you. Because the Panthers are the artists. They're very creative.
Right.
Will, you a shark panther.
Yes.
So, Will and Omar, for you to find out which type of manimal you are, you can take my free quiz, and it's called the Guys Gorilla Quiz.
Okay.
It's on my website. It's at www.gorillalove.com. And women can take the Gorilla Quiz to identify what type any man in their life is. So, for example, Paula could go on there and take the Gorilla Quiz about the last 5 guys she dated. Okay. And it's going to tell her, oh, this one's mostly a panther, this one's mostly a gorilla, this one's mostly a shark. And so it gives you information to work with.
Wow.
All right. Angela, I have a question for you because, you know, when women meet men, you know, the first thing, you know, they have a lot of swagger. You know, they got that golden, that silver tongue. They do the dog and pony show. So that's 9 times out of 10. That's why we think we have found the right guy. My question to you is that women, because we're natural nurturers and, you know, women talk a lot and we are more expressive, why can't men really be honest to really express themselves when it comes to women? It's always about the show, or they're not really being true, or they're not being forthcoming with their feelings. They're very guarded, where women are not very guarded with their feelings, because if we're in love with you, we're going to tell you that we're in love. Most of the time, what I find, because I've talked to a lot of men, you know, a lot of men will, you know, they throw the word I love you around like lava rocks, because a lot of men tell me that they'll look a woman straight dead in her eye and say, I love you, I'm in love with you, just to get the cookies, knowing that you really don't. Right. So you're setting a woman up for hurt, when you should just say, hey, I just want to get your cookies. And if she says no, then the answer is no. You just go on to the next person. Why do they do that? Why do you guys do that?
Can I speak on the male behalf?
I can give you a couple of answers for that.
Okay.
Out in nature, it's the men, the male of the species, like think about peacocks or different kinds of birds or different kinds of animals. It's the male who has to attract the female. So naturally in his DNA, the man is trying to do whatever he can to attract those sexual partners. That's just natural. Now, when it comes to what you just described, a man who is just after the cookies, what you're talking about is another type that we already know about, and that's called a wolf. A wolf measures his success in the numbers. It's not about the love. It's not about the relationship. It's about the numbers. Oh, I got that one. Yeah, I'm a winner. Oh, that one wants me too. Yeah, I'm a man. Oh, I want this other one over here, and I can get her. And so when you're dealing with a wolf who's emotionally immature, he is so seductive. Oh, my goodness. He makes it so juicy. He makes you feel so beautiful in the moment, because in the moment he thinks you're the most beautiful woman in the world. That's exactly why you need to know about the 12 types of men, so that you can recognize what's in front of you and not be swayed by that surface appearance.
But why do they think that women are so weak? Sometimes we are. That all a woman wants to hear is that I love you. Is that because you didn't get it when you were growing up? Is it a daddy issue? That is to me, that is the key, the killer for everything. Once I tell her I love you, I got her. Hook, line, and sinker, she'll do anything for me, knowing that you don't.
Okay, so what happens, and like I said, what you're describing is a wolf, and I'll tell you that wolves are predatory, and they tend to hang out in online dating. The majority of the good men are not in online dating, because the majority of good men are not predatory. They're actually going to be more authentic. They're going to be more honest. They're going to be more open.
And what's the good man? Is that the shark? Is he the best man?
No, I'm a shark.
It depends on the woman, what she wants.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
if I
for
decide,
me, for instance, my favorite kind of men are gorillas.
Gorillas, you like gorillas?
But I do. That's why I put them on the cover of my book. But I'm married to a panther.
So how do you, when you realize that you found what you like, let's say, you know, I'm a gorilla, because that's what you married, I guess. How do you keep the relationship hot and juicy and spicy? Like, you know, am I supposed to look for a fish? Like, I'm confused. Like, is the female she a shark, or I mean, I'm lost.
Okay, so that's a really, really good question. And was that Omar or was that Will?
Yeah, that's Omar.
Yeah, that's Omar.
Okay, Omar, that's a really good question, because one of the reasons that women are straying and they're going out there cheating, and that men have been cheating for a long time, is because you start out the relationship hot and heavy, and it's so sexy and it's so fun, and you just, I mean, I don't want to get rude on this thing, but you get totally aroused and ready for that man or for that woman when they just are walking across the room. And 3 years later into the marriage, you're like, oh, her? Oh, yeah, okay, so what?
Yeah, because I think in the beginning, you're like, oh, that's the one right there. I got to have her. You know, I got to have them. You know, and you sell it from the door. And then I guess, like you said, you know, few days, hours later, you know, you see somebody else walk by and, you know, they the one. I'm confused. Which one the one?
Okay. So if you're truly being attracted 1 hour, 2 hours later to somebody else, so I think it's that one, not this one. I hate to tell you this, but that's partly a sign of immaturity.
I can agree with that.
But But what I'm going to tell you is how to make the relationship last long and be juicy and fun and exciting. I've been married to my husband 25 years now.
Wow.
And I am not kidding. It's juicier now than when we first met. I am hotter about that man than I was when we first met, and he is about me.
Well, what's the secret?
Okay, here's the secret.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably not going to like it, but I'm going to tell you.
Oh, Lord, okay.
When we are open and vulnerable and real and authentic, and someone else listens to us and cares about us and is there for us, we bond deeper and deeper. Some people talk about it being able to have sex on a spiritual level, but what it
with
really
your clothes on.
is, yeah.
That's intimacy with your clothes on. You know, that's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, intimacy where you're open and vulnerable and real and authentic, and the other person loves you and accepts you, and you can say to somebody, honey, I know you have a problem this way or that way, and I love you anyway. That's how it stays juicy for 25 years.
You know, that's all the words that you said, I'm just like blown away. Are all the words. I had a conversation this morning with one of my friends, and those are all the words that I uttered and that we were talking about it. I'm just like amazed. So that lets me know that's confirmation and that I was on the absolute right track. I'm very happy.
Okay, well,
So
get my book.
Is that meaning that you would love the? Does that mean that you would, like, I guess, love the person like more than yourself, or you would give more of them? Like, I mean, how would you, you're giving these things? Is that taking less from yourself, or like, I'm trying to understand that part.
Is this Omar again?
Yes.
Omar, you got the deep, good question. Okay, so here's the answer to that. Boundaries are how I say my own values. And if I give up my own values to go over and take care of you, and some people say you got to give 110% and everything, all that kind of stuff. But if I give up myself and who I am, my real person, my authentic person, to go over and take care of you and help you out, when it's not an emergency and not a crisis, then I have lessened myself that's in the relationship. And you need two fully present people in the relationship. Two people who are being fully authentic and the best they can be. Not one that's only half there because she's given up who she is to take care of him, or vice versa.
And I think that happens a lot in marriages, and that's why women from 40 going forward, when they start finding their identity and who they are, and they are looking for their individuality, this is where they begin to grow, and they have checked out because they're really checking into themselves, and they no longer want to do what they were normally doing because you have invested so much. You've lost yourself in your husband. You've lost yourself in your children. You just lost. You don't even know who the heck you are. But when you start, I'm going to use the word emerge, and start finding this new person, it's just amazing. But nobody else in the household gets it because they think that you're having a midlife crisis. It's just that it's about me right now, and I want to do me.
So interestingly enough, in other countries, and I'm going to speak to France specifically, the French think that a woman comes into her own and is at her sexiest when she's in her 40s.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, here in America, we have this ridiculous worship of women in their 20s who are really too immature to hold a deep relationship. And if you get a real man and he has a choice between a woman in her 40s who's fully right, fully there, fully emerged into her true self versus the 20-year-old who's just starting to find herself, he'll go for the 40-year-old every time.
I agree.
I agree.
Well, you know what? This is Will again. I have one final question for you. What advice do you have to share on mate selection, and does chemistry really play a part in it?
So chemistry will sell you down the river.
Oh.
Chemistry and all the media, thinks that chemistry is the litmus test for whether or not we really have it. Well, chemistry, true deep chemistry, is something that you build over time. And yes, you can feel immediate chemistry, but that immediate chemistry, that's just the basic drive to mate, to propagate the species. That's all that is. And if you buy into that, it might as well be that you're at the bakery and that chocolate brownie is saying to you, eat me and I have no calories. So it's a lie.
Okay.
That is a lie.
Oh, okay. I always thought chemistry, there was no chemistry, so they're not the one. So chemistry, you said, is something that builds over time.
The good, deep, long-lasting chemistry.
Right.
I mean, honey, I'm old. I'm way beyond 40. And I'll tell you, there's some men out there, and they walk by, and my juices start boiling up a little bit.
Oh, no.
But I'm not going to run over.
You better do it, Angela.
I'm not going to run over there and do anything about it because I've got long-term deep chemistry with my man.
Right. Wow. So how can people learn more? How can people get a copy of Gorillas Make Great Lovers, and then definitely find out more about your programs that you offer?
Okay, so you can buy my book on Amazon, and it's about $12 plus shipping. Okay. Or you can go to my website, and there's a code there that you can use to get a discount, so you get it for a little bit less.
Oh, perfect.
And again, my website is GorillaLove.com. And all the basic stuff that I teach is in the book. And people who want to do it yourself can read the book, and there's some great stories, and it's easy to read, and it talks about boundaries, and it talks about chemistry, and it talks about all the 12 types of men. If you wanted to be in the Olympics, let's say you wanted to be a gymnast or a swimmer, or what do you like? What's your sport?
Oh, sport. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah, football. That's it. No, that's not Olympics. That's not in the Olympics.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Running. I like running. Even though my hip
Running.
hurts.
Okay, so let's say you wanted to be a 100-yard dash guy in the Olympics.
Right.
You could read a book that would give you, in fact, there's a bunch of books out there that could give you lots of information about how to improve your sport and how to get better. But the thing that'll make the real difference for you is when you get a coach.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a coach.
Okay.
The people who really want to make Olympic level great relationships want a coach.
I think you can relate that to like gym and working out as well. I think when you just in general, you can think about it all your own, but when you get someone to help you or assist you, motivator, you definitely see better results.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Angeline, so much for coming on the show. Yeah.
I'm delighted to be on your show. I love your panel. Great question.
Thank you. And you gave me a lot of things to think about. I know Paula. I saw a few light bulbs go on in her head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was taking a quiz as you all were talking.
Oh, were you? Oh, gosh.
Oh, God. Omar.
What are you?
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We really
Which
appreciate
animal
it.
are you since you took the quiz?
I don't want to say in front of all these people.
We want to know.
I don't want to say because then
wolf.
I might not be the right one
Are
for
you the
them.
wolf?
No, I'm self-evaluating myself.
Oh.
So let me tell you, to give you a little hint then. When you take that quiz, it isn't just going to say you're a shark or you're a gorilla. What it's going to do is it's going to tell you what percentage of each of those 12 types you have. So it gives you a full profile.
Oh, that's good.
And,
I'm going to take when I get home.
There's two that you want to watch out for, and that's crab and rat.
Crab and rat. I'll write that down.
Crab and rat.
We don't want no crabs or rats. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you so much for coming on.
You're so very, very welcome. My pleasure.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was very interesting.
That was interesting. I saw some light bulbs go off in your head.
Yeah,
Missy.
that was very interesting.
That was very. I was quiet. I was just taking on listen to. But I wanted to answer your question. You said why men be so charming, and they don't tell you the truth off front. That's what you asked her, correct?
Yeah, my question was why did they do the
Well, that's we're gonna hold that. We're gonna put that in the parking lot. We get to Omar about his. He's been holding all evening patiently. So we're gonna talk about first. We're gonna segue into that. So
yes,
I still don't understand. I understand the pill. The pill to me, from what I've been understanding about the pill prep we're talking about, there has to be a cure somewhere. So this is just a way that they can still make money off this disease, but just not give us the cure for it that will eradicate the disease. I don't understand how you can take this pill and is it 100% effective?
No.
Oh, it's not.
No.
99 point something?
Yeah, very close.
See? Okay. So, Omar, talk.
Well, the pill's called PrEP.
Does that stand for something?
PrEP, yeah, pre-exposure prophylaxis. Pre-exposure prophylaxis. I'm sorry? Yeah, the actual pill is Truvada.
Okay.
And you can take it once a day, 1 pill a day, and this helps you build up immune system to fight off the HIV virus if you come in contact with it. It's also supposed to be used in conjunction with protection as far as condoms, because it doesn't protect you against any other STDs, but it does help you. It only works if you come in contact with the virus, you know, and so, but you never know if you're ever going to come in contact with it. So it's good to take it every day that it constantly builds your immune system up.
Is it expensive?
Right now, it is totally free to anyone in the Hampton Roads area. VDH, Department of Health. If you go to Norfolk Department or I work for a nonprofit organization. If you come over to our nonprofit, we could definitely sign you up.
What is it?
The LGBT Life Center.
Okay.
If you call
what
up,
city?
is in Norfolk and Hampton.
Okay.
If you give us a call, we can definitely set you up with the regimen, and it's totally free for the next year. Sponsored by the Virginia Department of Health.
That's awesome.
See, yeah, because I'm sorry, because it's on the commercials now. It's on the radio. So the way that they promote it is that if you take it, that you won't come, if you come in contact with somebody with the virus, you won't get the virus at all. That's the way that they're promoting it.
Absolutely.
And then I think another big misconception is that, like, because you know how, like you said, you have to use it in conjunction with condoms. Like, people think you can use PrEP and that's it. You don't have to use condoms because I've heard several times, because not too long ago I was doing I was asking questions about PrEP, and I had some friends, and they are in. So you just taught me something, because they told me that you don't have to use. They don't use condoms and stuff like that, because it build up that. So.
Yeah, but I guess they're only worried about STDs.
Other STDs.
They're not worried about other STDs. Yes, it will fight off the HIV virus if you come in contact with it. It builds up your immune system so that you can fight it off if you come in contact with it, but it's not going to stop the transmission of any other
syphilis or anything like that.
Nothing like that.
So Will, you brought up a good point, because you're like, if they can come up with this PrEP,
Yeah.
Why can't you come up with the cure?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's like you're knocking on the door with a cure. So are you just going to go this far? So is it a money game, or is it, or do we really want to? I mean, because it has affected my family as well. So, what do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years? Do you think because they came up
eventually
with
something else will come up and they'll go ahead and cure this one?
I think that they're probably on the brink of a cure. I personally think that, because if you can, like y'all said, come up with a pill that can stop the transition. There's also medicines that lower the virus in people who are positive. It's kind of the pill that you're taking actually is an HIV pill. That it's a similar pill that they would give to people for treatment who are positive. It has different actual medications in it than that one, but it's very, very. The actual Truvada pill is actually one of the pills that you would give someone who is positive. So technically, you are taking medicine that a retroviral that a person who's positive would be taking.
Yeah, because I look at Magic Johnson, and I mean, he looks amazing, because there's other people that I know that are HIV positive that have suffered, that are suffering greatly. Some people that I know have died, but it's complications of the HIV, not HIV itself. And I look at him, I'm like, oh my goodness gracious.
He probably has the best doctors.
Yeah,
and actually the pill has been out since 2012. It just kind of made its way into Virginia within the last year, but it started out in California, and I want to say San Francisco. Not San Francisco. But it was over in California, and then it kind of slowly made its way out. But the pill has been out since 2012.
I wonder how they tested that.
Isn't there like a 90-day process that you have to take the pill for like 90 days to see how it build up in your system? Because I was also told there are side effects that also this pill can damage your liver. That's why you have to do the 90 days.
Well, I've been on PrEP for about a month now, and there are some side effects. They give you a long list of do's and don'ts. I mean, it's actually on the actual pamphlet that you give you. It could damage your liver, but there's other drugs that people can take that can damage, or the people with cancer, there's drugs that you take that could do damage to your body. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different things. So, but my question to people, and considering one of the reasons why I did consider to take PrEP is that somebody was like, you know, who wants to take a pill every day? And I said, well, what is the opposed situation? You contract HIV because you're having unprotected sex, and then what do you have to do? Take a pill every day. So would you rather take one beforehand or take one afterwards?
And that's what I was going to ask you. Why did you start taking PrEP? Were you nervous taking it? And now that you're taking it, do you use a condom? Is that too personal?
No, it's not. I don't have sex. And it's kind of weird that I got a little older, and my mind started kind of like y'all was talking about women in their 40s. You know, I kind of changed my lifestyle in the last 2 years. And so I'm not really having sex because I'm looking for a mate. And so there's a lot of things that I've changed in my life, you know, to better myself. And PrEP was another step that I wanted to take because I don't know what my mate is going to look like. The statistics for black MSM is the ratio for black gay men that have HIV is 1 in 2. So they're pretty much saying that from the two of us sitting here, one of us will be positive. That's the ratio they're moving to. And so with that being said, I don't know what my mate is going to look like, you know, who I'm looking. And so am I going to not date him because he's positive? You know, am I not going to date him because, you know, it's a lot of things that it come to as you mature in the life, in your own personal life. And so, you know, I don't want to knock out that and be like, okay, well, he's positive, I can't deal with that. You know, I can be ready for that situation and head on, and we can have an intelligent, educational conversation about it if my relationship, if I start dating a person who's positive.
And that's one of the things that I find that I think is amazing that, you know, I know I have a lot of gay male friends, but they don't, it's not the no judge zone again. Even if they are HIV positive, but if you happen to fall in love with them, you can deal with that. You know, and that's a dangerous situation, but you would rather, you're in love, and it's again, that's my word, it's unconditional. It doesn't matter.
I had to grow there. You know, right. There was the moment when I wouldn't date anyone who was positive, you know. But in this lifestyle, I'm just being honest, I don't believe there's any man who's dated off a chat line or a site or whatever can actually say they've never had sex with someone who's HIV positive, because you don't know the status of every person that you've been with.
That's true.
Okay, so we only have a few minutes left in the show. We have a couple topics I want to go over. But I want to see if you guys have heard about the letter that Madonna wrote in the 90s that has surfaced.
I saw that.
It's gotten chicken a little bit of hot water. But she said, I've made so many people angry that I'm being punished and basically made to be quiet and sit in the corner. Whole other less interesting and exciting people are reaping the benefits of the roads that I've paved. She said, I'm so unequivocally frustrated that to read that Whitney Houston has the music career that I wish I had, and Sharon Stone has the film career that I'll never have. Not because I want to be these women, because I'd rather die. But they're so horribly mediocre, and they're always being held up as paragons of virtue or some sort of measuring stick to humiliate me. I want to ask you guys, you know, how do you handle your haters? Have you ever been hated on? How do you handle them?
You're not successful if you don't have haters. You're not.
Yeah.
If you don't have nobody hating on you, you're not doing nothing in life at all. You're just there. You're existing. When you have haters, you have to understand that it's nothing that you're doing that's wrong. It's something inside them that they just feel like they can't get, because you never know. Like, sometimes what haters don't understand is about when they see a successful person, the backstory. They don't understand how that person got to where they got to. Like, you might wake up every day with a smile, but that smile came at a cost. You know what I'm saying? And if people just, instead of hating, say, hey, can you give me, I don't even have to be your role model. Just say, hey, give me some pointers. You know what I'm saying? Any successful person don't mind seeing another successful person.
Exactly. They don't feel threatened by that.
Right.
I guess my situation would be if you think that everyone who don't like you are hating on you. I mean, I would think then there's something wrong with you. I don't have to be your hater because I don't like your music. You know, I don't have to be your hater because I'm not your friend. You know, you're just not something that I'm interested in. I'm not hating on you. I respect your space and your boundaries and what you have going on. So I don't think that if a person has people who don't like them or a person who's just not interested, I would consider that person a hater.
Yeah, right. And you also remember when you say that, I've heard a lot of people who say they hating on me, and I'm like, you don't have nothing. You got to have something for people to hate on. So that's sometimes a misused word.
I think sometimes that term just get thrown out there too easily.
Yeah.
Like, because if I say, Kabasa, I don't like your shirt today, that don't mean I'm hating on
right.
Kabasa.
Yes,
that means I just don't think that shirt compliment
yeah,
at that
right.
particular time. But I love Kabasa to death. You know what I'm saying? And I just think...
So you don't like my shirt?
Maybe. But no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying people just so sensitive nowadays and everything. If somebody don't say something that you like, they're a hater. It's okay. It's called life. You'll be over. If that one person deter you that much, then you maybe need to go back to the church.
But I want to know why Madonna thinks that she was the mastermind or the I can't even think of the word.
Even heard her sing?
Yes. Why does she think that she was the I can't even think of the word. I'm so flabbergasted.
In 1990,
that she
in the 90s,
right,
93, I
right,
believe.
that she laid down the foundation for everybody to bite off of her like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what was she doing? She made the song Like a Virgin, and what else?
Well,
I don't know.
In her defense, because I read this too, because I like Madonna also. I think in that time, in that era, everybody was coming out. Madonna was in her lane doing her thing. Whitney was in her lane doing her thing, and everybody was doing their thing. But in with females, when they are in the music, they always pin them against each other. So you kind of build that tension and that what people call that hate. But you know what I'm saying? If Madonna has been a very successful woman, she has paved the ways for those Britney Spears, those Christina Aguilera, those rock, those pop chicks. She has paved the way. So I think in the 90s, she might have just been young and stupid. She just said something stupid out of her feelings. And now, because there's no way that anybody right now can say Madonna's a pop icon. If you say she's not, then you don't know music.
That's true.
I think she just has her own lane, and she should stay in it.
And stay in it. I agree with that. But you know what? We've been talking a while. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have intimate expressions. We haven't had that in a while. We have intimate expressions basically when I interview you guys. We've been interviewing other people. So I'm going to interview you, give you a chance to express yourselves. Some people, I know it's one person here, there's a lot of misconceptions about them. But I'm going to give them an opportunity to... everybody looking at Omar. What? I didn't say nothing. Omar, check him. But you know what? This is Let's Face It. We'll be right back.
You've been listening
Great
to
show.
Let's Face It with Wils, Strayhorn, and Schwenk. We'll be right back.
Have you seen Dr. Roberts about that sore in your mouth?
Nah, I'm sure it'll go away.
But it's been weeks. It could be oral cancer.
Mouth cancer?
Yeah, I read that it's more common in African American men than in any other group.
All right. I'll make an appointment.
Do you have a tough guy in your house? Make sure he sees a doctor or a dentist if he has a sore in his mouth that lasts more than 2 weeks. If it is oral cancer, it can be treated more successfully if it's caught early. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services National Institutes of Health.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
You're now listening to Let's Face It with Will Strayhorn and friends. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. We have our last few minutes of the show. We're going to do the part where I call it Intimate Expressions with Will Strayhorn. We have our guest. Say your name again. I forgot.
LeVar.
Omar. And we have Miss Paula B. from Positive Reality. Yes. So, Paula, we've done this with you before. So I'm going to ask you guys the same question. Think about it and just speak honestly from your heart.
I'm going last.
You go last. So my first question is, what life lesson did you learn the hard way? And either one of you can start first. What life lesson did you learn the hard way?
I learned that I loved too hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you love too hard?
Sometimes you can love a person more than they love themselves, and so you're constantly giving, and they're constantly receiving, but there's no reciprocation
right.
on the giving, and sometimes you stay in it hoping that things would change, and they don't.
Okay.
My biggest test was that you don't always have to be strong. Actually, how vulnerable you are is actually prove how strong you is. It's because when you're vulnerable, you're willing to take chances, you're willing to get slapped in the face, and you're willing to take the hurt that come with any situation.
Okay. Paula?
Let's see. My life lesson, which I've had many over the years, I think to know how to embrace my individuality, because I'm a person that is a pleaser. You know, I'll do anything to make you happy, even if it doesn't make me happy. And I have learned not to do that, you know, to be more engaged in myself and making myself happy first, because I'm always worried about everybody else. Am I doing the right thing for everybody else? If I made you upset, so what if I made you upset? You have to get over it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For me, I think it would have to be, this is like a work in progress, like the therapist next week. This is what we're going to deal with. Just learning the fact that I'm enough. I think I've been deficient in that throughout my whole life. That I've used objects, I've used people to validate who I was, and when they were gone, I was distressed. Like when my relationship ended, I was like suicidal, depressed, and going through it. And I just had to learn to love myself again, just to realize that I'm enough by myself. If I'm alone with somebody, broke with money, I'm enough.
Right, and that's fair. That's the same thing that my therapist told me, and I don't mind sharing, is that, because we're codependent by a fault, and people take our kindness and love as a weakness because they know how we are. So they can destroy us by saying, doing things like, I don't want to be with you, or manipulating our
stares of, well, what can I do?
What can I do?
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying that you're not happy. What do I need to do to keep you?
Rescue mode.
Right. So after a while, you get tired.
Yeah.
And then you really find. But when you find that you're enough, they can't deal with it.
Right.
I kind of agree with that too. I've been finding myself over the last 2 years, and one of the things I didn't want to be was alone, and I didn't want to live alone. I had roommates, I had a relationship, this and the third, but I've kind of found who I am, and so I can live a better, healthier life in my mental, because I first had to find myself, and I had to be alone to find myself.
That's what my therapist said today, because she even recommended that I go to a hotel by myself for a weekend, so I can.
Could you do that?
I've never lived alone. Somebody's always been in my life, so I've never done that. So that was one of the things that it's a challenge. You know what I mean? So because I love people, I love being around people, but I know how to enjoy myself now.
I learned when I had to move to Japan for like 2 years, and before I went to Japan, I could tell the two different type of people, because I just thought I was like, I'm successful, I'm a young black male, so I got my own car, my own house, my own job. I thought all this materialistic things made me who I was, and I was like, anybody should want to be with me because I have this.
Right.
So then I didn't choose to go to Japan. It was like, I didn't want to go to Japan. It was my last option, and I feel like God put me there for me to understand that you don't need all of that, because I was stripped of everything, you know what I'm saying? Not that I lost everything, it's just I couldn't carry it with me to Japan, so I had to start over, you know what I'm saying? People had to understand, like, I'm on a journey, and for 2 years of being by myself and stripped of everything that I thought was me has made me understand that all I needed was me. I don't need nothing else.
So you guys made a couple points. A lot of people say you would do so much for other people. Well, my question to you is, what do you owe yourself?
Well, that's a good one. To say what you owe yourself, I would definitely say it's time.
Are you hard on yourself?
I've become more harder on myself, because of my life experiences. Because you can allow people. Some people don't know. Like I said, I love hard. And I'm willing to give 100% in a relationship when I'm there, and I'm willing to take ownership of everything and weigh it so heavily on myself until, I have nothing left. And so, but time is something of the essence you can't get back, and so I would definitely say that time is definitely key and important, and how you use your time. And make sure that you're using yours, whether it's by yourself or in your relationship or whatever it is that you're doing with your time. Make sure that you are appreciating yourself in your space and time.
Okay.
I feel like you owe yourself forgiveness. Understand that you're not going to be perfect all the time. And there's sometimes you're going through life and you think you did the right thing, and there's sometimes you think you did right by the right person and you was absolutely wrong. But when the opportunity presents itself for you to fix it, apologize, try to make it better. If the other person hasn't received your apology or anything, just know that you've done the best that you could. And what you did when you apologize, or when you try to make wrong, and then it was completely genuine, That's all you can do. Forgive yourself and continue going on.
Mine is to own who I am.
Own who you are. You do a good job of that.
Yeah, to own who I am, to embrace myself, my qualities, even if people don't see it.
Yeah.
And to begin to emerge in my individuality. That's what I owe myself. And most importantly, I owe myself happiness.
Okay. For me, and I don't want people to take it wrong, I think it's just to accept my greatness. Because so many times, you know, you've been with me when people try to compliment me on something, they can give me one compliment and I'll give them like 5 reasons why they're wrong. Or they say they like the show. I say, yeah, but it's sometimes just kind of boring or whatever. I need to sit back and accept the progress that I've made. Sometimes I don't think I appreciate that for myself.
And you should, because I've told you a million times, not just because our relationship, you are built for greatness. You do amazing things. You have a lot. You have a lot of gifts and talents, and a lot of people learn from you, Will. And you're a motivator, and you're an example. And you have been blessed with so much that I think sometimes it can be overwhelming for you. But again, every gift and talent that you have, it has reached out to the masses, and that's what this is doing right now. You know how many people you helped doing this show?
If I could say that something, to be honest, like I look up to you, and you were my big brother growing up in the lifestyle, you and Nate, and I appreciate it because in my weakest and my lowest points, y'all were there to help me, and so I would just appreciate and just thank you for all the things that you are doing and that you have done, because you are a great person, you are a great individual. And you paved the way for a lot of people, and people won't appreciate it. But I can say that I'm
on time. Also, like, you knew me when I was just young and didn't know what I was doing from left or right sometimes. And I know I've called you several times in a little situation that I had, but I called you. Yeah. But even you asking me to come on your radio show, I was very humble. I'm like, little old me, you want to listen to little old me, like,
And look at the awesome job you did.
I'm just honored to have a person in, because you don't understand, like, sometimes you need that person to pour something into you sometimes. Yeah. And you don't know how big or how small it is, you know what I'm saying? By you just doing it, you don't even know that you just inspired me to want to keep doing this, you know? Like, I love this. It was fun. I had a great time, and I hope y'all call me back.
You did a good job. You did a good job.
I mean, everything they're saying is true. I mean, what you have done for me, has been amazing. I would have, in this last couple of months, I would have fallen apart. I would have cracked. But your words of wisdom, your honesty, your being hard on me sometimes, which I didn't like, but being gentle with me, and loving me and encouraging me and working together as a team has just been amazing. And you have just made my life so much better and open up it let me know that I can emerge by hanging out with you. And I appreciate that.
I am because of you.
All right.
Say thank you,
Thank
Will.
you so much. You know what? Okay, so show is about to end before I lose it. But I want to give our guests the opportunity to share your social media. Because you have fans now. You have fans that want to follow you. So share your social media where they can get in contact with you.
On Instagram is Shorty757 SHAW.
He's so proud of that.
TIE.
On his chest.
I work hard for that day. I work hard for that money, Ike. SHAWTIE 757. LeVar Oliver on Facebook. That's it. I don't do a lot of social media.
Okay. I don't. Oh, Lord. Speaking of that, okay.
Omar White on Facebook. That is that dude. DADUDE _CABAZA on Instagram. That dude Cabaza.
Paula.
Facebook. I'm on Paula Allen Beckett. On I think
she's with Dougie Fresh on her profile.
Yes, Dougie Fresh and Kumo D. I had a great time with those guys. Yeah. On I think let's see, what is it? Instagram? I always forget.
She don't know.
Yeah, but it's Sassy Coco though. I can tell you that. Yes, that's my name. That's my handle, y'all.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. You know, next weekend is our final show for our summer series. We will be on break. Yeah, we're having our champagne and everything in here, right? And then we'll be on break all of August, and we'll come back in September with TV and the radio show.
I'm so excited.
So we're excited about that. Until next week, make sure that you definitely tune in next week. Everybody be blessed.
Will Strayhorn and friends. Please be sure to visit us on the web at letsfaceitradio.com and at Let's Face It Radio on Facebook for the latest in show information and exciting, innovating ways that you can be a part of the show. So tune in next week, same place, same time, for real people, real topics, real talk. Let's face it.